President Obama is preparing his pitch on a Syria intervention to the American people and also to Congress. Is he making a good case? I've got Wall Street Journal editorial page editor Paul Gigot here. Paul, I want to start with a warning that Assad made to President Obama. Let's play this clip from CBS this morning.
Okay.
Will there be attacks against American bases in the Middle East if there's an airstrike?
You should expect everything. You should expect everything. Not necessarily through the government. It's not only the governments are not the only player in this region. You have different parties, you have different factions, you have different ideology. You have everything in this region now. So you have to expect that.
So Paul, Assad says we can expect everything. It's not just Syria in the region, but other actors. What case is the president making to us, the American people?
Well, first on Assad, I mean, I think he's been advised, about this president and the American mood right now, and he's trying to play to that. He's trying to say, look, this will not be easy, and there'll be complications, and your previous interventions in the Middle East have not gone well. Of course, that's an argument Obama has made to the American people for about 6 or 7 years.
Which makes his case today even tougher. So what is the case that he's making?
The war weariness
Absolutely.
he has fed for a half dozen years since he started to run for president. So it's not surprising to hear that from Assad. As for the president, I think he needs to make a better case. He's put, in my view, all of his eggs, if you will, in the basket of international norms. Let's do something about the treaty, the chemical treaty the Syrians have violated. And I think that's not enough of an argument at this stage to justify American intervention with a cautious American public. He needs to make the argument and root it in American national interest.
I had Brett Stevens on the show last week, and he talked, for example, about Iran's presence in Syria, and that was one of other reasons.
I think it's the most important,
most important reason for the United States to intervene here. But are there other arguments the president should make?
Well, I think there's regional instability, obviously. As the longer the war goes on, the more it is spreading out. With negative consequences in Iraq, for example, where the jihadists are coming back, in Jordan, where they have to cope with 500,000 refugees. We're already seeing the dislocation and chaos and violence in Lebanon. That'll continue. Second, I think, is there is an argument to be made for stopping the proliferation of chemicals and other WMD, including nuclear weapons, in the hands of Iran. If nothing happens on chemicals in this case, you'll see, I think, an argument made by a lot of the message interpreted by bad actors around the world will be, let's just add this to the arsenal because we can get away with it.
We've got about a minute left. I'd like you to address Secretary of State John Kerry's comments that he made in these recent hours, that what the U.S. is looking at is, and I quote, an unbelievably small, limited kind of effort. Does that comport with what the president is saying, and does that advance his case to the American people and to Congress?
Well, it contradicts what we keep reading, and I know from my own reporting he's saying to Lindsey Graham and John McCain, which is, no, look, we're going to make a more robust effort. We're going to help the Syrian opposition, the moderate rebels as opposed to the jihadists. We're going to may have a robust attack on Syria's military assets. So John Kerry, who knows? I mean, these people are very hard to support. They just keep undermining the argument at every pass, and I think that's one of the reasons the president's having such a hard time making the case.
Okay, Paul Gigot, editorial page editor with the last word today. Thanks so much, Paul, for being on the show.
Okay.